initiative of wealth gap and in major sectors of healthcare and education.
So, to reduce the gap between rural and city areas, there is a rural vitalization strategy which is implemented in China since 2005, which helps in reducing the economic gaps between the rural people and Western development. There is a Western development strategy. This initiative focuses on the development of Western
हमें
cities.
देखना है क्या क्या आ रहा है इसमें
Delegate of South
बैक कैमरा ही ऑन है इसीलिए
What steps will the government take as there is gender pay gap as women earning 22% less than men in China?
There are more than 100 laws amended in the Constitution of China for empowering women. The Chinese government has also made private NGOs which collaborate with educational reforms, healthcare improvement, and has support for small and medium-sized enterprises, which helps rural women to participate more in the vitalization scheme, which has implemented since 2005 and has increased rates effectively.
Delegate of USA. How does China reconcile its approach to ethnic and gender inequalities given its recent documented abuses in Xinjiang, Tiananmen Square, etc.?
Can you just repeat the question?
Sure, Delegate. How does China reconcile its approach to ethnic and gender inequalities with documented abuses in Xinjiang and Tiananmen Square, etc.? Do you have the answer for that?
No, I don't know it.
Okay. Thank you. Delegate of 50, you are recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, indeed to discuss before you to emphasize the urgency of reducing inequality, a gender, a goal that remains exclusive despite of demands. Today, Italy is celebrating its achievement in gender equality, including 34.3% of women empowerment and 54.4% of women representation in parliament. Today, 59.1% of women is graduating male-dominated field in Italy. Above all, Italy ranks 14 on reducing inequality with 68.8 points out of 100 points on gender equality index. Thank you.
Delegate, how would you like to use your time? Open for comments, questions, or giving activities?
Open for questions and comments.
Delegates wishing to ask questions, give comments, please raise your hand and ask. Delegate of South Africa.
As mentioned in the speech that Italy has been moving in the women empowerment sector, but the growing process, or you can say the increase percentage has been very low in these years from 2018 itself. So what is the government planning to do to increase the percentage? Because the process is very slow and it is very slow. The economy itself feels that women are less in power than men.
Actually, government is trying to make awareness programs and has implemented many laws like equal opportunity, means equal opportunity to women too, national plan for gender equality, Mama Zero, which means government will support the startups of women and entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Delegate of Saudi Arabia.
How does the delegate of Italy reconcile their statement considering a huge gender pay gap between men and women and lack of access to reproductive healthcare facilities, especially near the conservative areas?
Okay, so Italian government has implemented Liga Sola, Parita means reducing gender-based wage discrimination, and Pilano Nazilo per la Parita retribution in 2019 for aims to reduce gender pay gap, and Italy is also having a awareness program for this.
Delegate of Uganda.
In light of Italy's regional disparities, especially in healthcare, employment, and wages, what measures has the government taken to reduce the regional disparities between the northern part and the southern part of Italy, and where these measures implemented well and beyond procedure and lab preferences means focusing on preventive healthcare of women and still it is trying their best to
Delegate of USA. No? Okay, thank you. Delegate of Russia, you are recognized for 1 minute.
Mr. Chair and esteemed delegates, Russia is honored to address this systemic change to reduce inequality within and among countries. It is a critical component of the global development agenda. It recognizes that inequality is a complex issue for social, economic, and political stability. While progress has been made, significant challenges remain. Russia acknowledges the importance of reducing inequalities, cornerstone of sustainable development. The country has gone through several social and economic transformations in recent decades, leading to improvements in its status of many. However, disparities persist within and among regions. Russia's approach to the reduction of inequality is rooted in the principles of social justice, economic growth, and regional development. The government emphasizes the need for balanced approach and promotes social transformations in recent decades. Thank you, Chair, and esteemed members.
Thank you. How would you like to use your time? For comments, questions are given back to the chair.
Open for questions and comments.
Delegates wishing to ask questions, please raise your hand. Delegate of Uganda.
Given the high level of wealth concentration in Russia, what steps has the government taken to address economic inequality and ensure the benefits of natural resources in rural areas?
The country currently is working on strengthening social safety and expanding and improving social protection, such as pension. And working on the progressive taxation of people to redistribute this wealth.
Delegate of UK.
Kids, just a second. It's fine if you keep your mic aside because you are audible. And secondarily, if you think that you won't be audible, keep your mic little distant so that your voice do not spread.
This is echoing.
As mentioned in the earlier cities, Russia is working on lowering inequalities in wealth and income. But we can see a very large gap in the income and wealth distribution over the country. How does the government look forward to reducing these inequalities in wealth and income across the country?
I would like to yet again mention the country's focusing on progressive taxation to redistribute the wealth disparities, as well as working on combating corruption and strengthening anti-corruption laws.
Russia has seen a growing wealth gap exacerbated by the concentration of wealth among oligarchs. How does Russian government plan to tackle this inequality, particularly in the light of the ongoing economic challenges due to international sanctions?
Mainly the oligarchies are holding the country's wealth. They are mainly based on anti-corruption laws, which is one of the main reasons why they're holding the wealth, as well as again progressive taxation, which the country is implementing on these people to redistribute the wealth that they hold to the people who do not have wealth.
Thank you.
According to a survey in Russian Today newspaper, it was shown that 70% of men feel that there is loss of male dominance and increasing role in women in the workplace. So how the Russian government would increase that loss of male dominance thought from the men's mind, from the men of Russia, because they think that if women step forward, if they come out of the house, then their powers will be lost.
Currently, in the country of Russia, if men, they have society believes that if women step up to be empowered or work in businesses or work in general, they would turn into feminists and go against them as well. To change this, the country is also implementing awareness camps in the public. It is also spreading awareness through campaigns in the public and newspapers as well to decrease the belief of men in this field.
Thank you. Delegate of Ahmedabad, you have 1 minute time. Thank you, Chair. Honorable Chair, distinguished delegates, it is an honor to address this assembly on the vital issue of reducing inequalities. Saudi Arabia firmly believes that equality and social justice are the bedrock of a prosperous society. Under our Vision 2030 agenda, we have committed to provide equal opportunities to all the citizens. We are making significant strides in education, healthcare, and economic empowerment to ensure that every individual, regardless of gender or socio-economic background, can thrive. Internationally, South India also supports global efforts to reduce inequalities through humanitarian aid and developmental assistance. We have focused on enhancing quality education, particularly for women and girls, and ensuring comprehensive health care for all. Our economic reforms are creating job opportunities and fostering entrepreneurship, especially among the youth and the women. Together, we can build a more just, equitable, and a prosperous world. Let us continue to work towards the future when everyone has a chance to achieve their full potential. Thank you. Delegate, how would you like to lead your time? For comments, questions, or give it back to the chair. Open for comments and questions. Delegates wishing to ask questions, please raise your hand. Delegate of UK.
As the delegate mentioned that the government of Saudi Arabia is working towards reducing inequalities, especially among women and members of society. But we can see a lack of women in parliament and government administration did not take office, nor is the government of Saudi Arabia planning to implement to improve the representation of women in the government. The representation of women has significantly increased since 2015-16 as the labor force participation of women has also increased to 34.5% in 2022. And the government is also trying to bring out some more social camps which also increases the skill development, which helps in an increasing rate of women's education, which also helps in the increased participation of women in various political activities.
Delegate of South Africa.
As mentioned in the speech, that there is pretty much important education of women and as mentioned in the speech,
As mentioned in the speech that there is a certain sector, a highlighted sector for women and girls education, but still the education being very expensive and not affordable. So how the government would convince the families to let the girls and women of their family step out of their houses and educate? Because as the Islamic Sharia, it is said that women if they get educated too much, they will get out of hand and it will be bad. It will have bad impact on the laws of Islamic. So how the government convince the families who are in poverty or families who have been following tradition since years to let the girls and women of the family get the education which is needed?
Well, the government is working tirelessly towards improving the women's position related to education and healthcare, and there are many socio-economic reforms. And also, we should consider the national sovereignty that every country has the right to develop and enforce its own legal and social norms based on cultural and religious policies. And the Saudi Arabia is also trying to get out of that conservative mindset of people by collaborating with private NGOs and trying to make people aware that women should get equal rights as men, and the people are getting enlightened towards it, and women are getting the equal rights. But as you know, in a conservative country like Saudi Arabia, the change takes time. So the government has to be patient for the results.
Delegate of Canada.
how is the government of Saudi Arabia addressing the issue of gender pay gap in the country and ensure that women actively participate in the economy of the country?
As mentioned, there is an increased employment ratio, and the statistics also show that the women are currently participating in various kind of activities. Also, entrepreneurship should be considered in that. And the women's participation in labor force in many other categories, it has doubled from 2016 to 2023, and there is a significant growth in each of the sectors regarding this.
Delegate of Uganda.
With Saudi Arabia's 2030 aims of diversifying economy and reducing the gender gender inequality, what measures Saudi Arabia is taking for women and girls in light of the harmful laws Saudi Arabia has implemented for girls of how women should be dressed. They can't wear short dresses and it's compulsory for women in Saudi Arabia to wear hijab and all. How can Saudi Arabia aim the 2030 vision of diversifying economy by reducing gender inequality? It is not possible according to the laws at present Saudi Arabia has.
In 2019, the hijab law was currently abolished and women are not, the government is not compulsifying women to wear hijab in public, but it is considered a good sign of respect if a woman wears hijab in public. And all the guardianship rights regarding women that they need a guardianship of male in each of sectors, it has been completely removed and women need not get any kind of male guardianship rights currently in Saudi Arabia. This is just one of the steps taken by the government. There are many other steps taken by the government to ensure that according to the Vision 2030, women are getting empowered and they are getting the same rights as men till 2030.
Delegate of USA. Given the significant wealth inequality in Saudi Arabia, where the royal family controls vast portion of the wealth distribution, how is the government taking steps to ensure an equitable wealth distribution among citizens?
As I told, there are many skill development programs that are currently working in the collaboration of NGOs, which help in increasing the skill level of the people, so that more people are getting employed, and at the same time, the economy of the country also increases, which will ultimately lead to the development of country.
Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you. Delegate of South Africa, you are recognized for 1 minute.
Good morning, distinguished chair and state delegate. Today, the delegate of South Africa would like to write the progress of South Africa in the past years by implementing 5-year plans for gender equality that are two of South Africa's legislative amendments. First, the Employment Equity Act and the second is Prevention of Unfair Discrimination Act, which will be fully implemented to achieve gender parity by 2030, according to Africa's Union Agenda 2016. This progress can be seen by following data at the extent of the whole country, and the position of third in Sub-Saharan Africa, as well as various organizations are also working for educating the individuals and they feel free to register their campaigns and actions will be taken for the environment. Can the delegate justify this?
Several policies and a lot more work has been done by government when it comes to women not getting paid and not getting paid according to the work they do. So a lot of policies like equal pay for women and a lot of laws has also been enacted in the past years for women to get equal pay, and if any company or anyone is not giving equal wages to the women, then there is certain punishment for them, or if any kind of harassment or inequality has been seen by the government or noticed, then there will be heavy penalties given by the government. Thank you.
Delegate of Saudi Arabia.
Considering the persistent high unemployment rate, especially among youth and women, what initiatives are being prioritized to reduce inequalities in South Africa?
When it comes to unemployment, government has been giving a lot of jobs in various sectors like IT and healthcare. A lot of jobs has been provided for the people to join in the last 2 years from and since a lot of jobs has been given to people who really want it, but due to the lack of skill, the jobs have not been fulfilled. There is a lot of jobs, but no people would like to enroll in it because of low skills development. So government of South Africa is also looking forward for the skill development plans, and in their 2063 agenda, the skill development sector has also been highlighted.
Hope that answers your question.
Delegate of Russia, could you elaborate on what jobs the government is providing to people during one?
As I mentioned in the answer before, jobs in IT sector, healthcare, government offices, and even in parliaments, women are considered more favorable. And as the statistics, we can see that increase in parliament and the women start also seen from the years.
And yet currently the cut year 2023, 23.5% of women are unemployed and 4% of men are unemployed. How is the country providing for these delegate of Russia argued from the question? This is not accepted. You can't even add a counter question. You have the question then you get this. Delegate of Uganda.
Like to raise much of information. As South Africa has already mentioned the gender inequality and the reforms taken by the government. But what about the significant racial and economic inequality in the country? And what are the outcomes of these measures taken? I feel important to look at as the nation of Uganda that South Africa has been more focusing on the gender inequality and not focusing on the significant racial and economic inequality present in the country.
As always, when the government asks themselves in what sectors people would like to work, people would like the government to work, and ask the results came in, the people themselves voted for the gender inequality to be worked on first. That's why the government has been focusing a lot on gender inequality, and some of the root causes of some problems is also gender inequality. So, to answer your question, a lot of acts and policies has also been enacted for the people to be equal and feel safe in their own country. Thank you, Delegate.
Delegate of USA, how does the South African government plan to address the root causes of xenophobic violence despite the end of apartheid entrenched racial inequality in South Africa, and there is a lot of xenophobic attack that has been done in the recent reports of 2022 in Johannesburg?
As mentioned, there is a lot of acts and laws implemented, but when it comes to violence and harassment, a lot of it faced by women mostly. For the women's protection, there is also a government website which can be used by women in men's both. And if they are having any problem, if they are facing any harassment, any kind of abuse or any kind of problems by any people around their surroundings or anything, they can clearly mention it to the government, and government will itself take a look on what the problem is, and equal justice will be given to each and every person in South Africa.
Thank you, Delegate.
Thank you. Delegate of Uganda, you are recognized for 1 minute.
Honorable Chair and distinguished delegates of the House, the delegate of Uganda is extremely honored to be here and would like to speak on the agenda reducing inequality. Extreme fear, pain, hopelessness, these are some of the feelings people experience while experiencing any form of inequality. Uganda was a pioneer in designing a holistic comprehensive development plan targeted at poverty eradication. By these policies, there has been a substantial reduction in poverty levels from 26% in 1992 to 20.3% in 2019. In August 2022, UNDP launched its corporate gender equality strategy 2022-2025, focused on transforming political, economic, and social systems with gender and professional gender and disempower women and girls. Furthermore, the government shall promote policies that promote inclusive growth and create jobs for the low segments of the society. The government of Uganda is proactively driving initiatives for the advanced political, economic, and social equality.
How would you like to read your time? Open for comments, questions, or give it back to the chair.
Open for comments and questions.
Delegates wishing to ask questions, please raise your hand. Delegate of Russia.
Uganda currently remains one of the poorest nations in the world, with 92.7% of the population remaining under the national poverty. which of course leads to disparity between the poor and low income families and their employment. What is the country going to provide and better accessibility towards healthcare and education for these people?
Already mentioned as already mentioned in the speech that Uganda has in 1993 started a poverty eradication action plan with no significant statistics of reducing poverty from 56% to 30% by 2007. Then in 2024, 22.6%. This shows a significant comeback from the Uganda when it comes to the eradication of poverty.
Delegate of USA. How does Uganda plan to address the long-term effects of LRA insurgency and the recent violent suppression in the Kampala protests that has been done in 2020, particularly in terms of improving human rights and reducing inequalities?
in the in the in Kampala process and for fostering human equality, the nation has taken significant measures like national nutrition policy, nation increase the budget allocation for these policies, implement mandatory fortification for programs, and promote and support exclusive practices of these people who were in Kampala.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate of Canada.
In Uganda, women have limited access to land ownership and control. So, what do the delegates of Uganda say reconciling this statement, and what are the policies implemented by the government of Uganda?
The Ugandan government also expresses an intention to pass legislation and support women ownership. And as you mentioned in your question that the laws are against women when it comes to poverty and all, it has changed in 2014 according to the poverty according to the inheritance law. If there are two kids of a parent, a male child and a female child, they will get 50% of the poverty of the property.
Thank you.
Delegate of any delegate? Okay, delegate of South Africa.
What is the government of Uganda doing as there is increase in the cases of domestic violence from 2020 to 2022 of 15%?
When it comes to the domestic violence, we have to address that it's not only for the female, it's also for the male. And when it comes to the act, after the increase in the domestic violence rate, Uganda has enacted Act like Domestic Violence Act 2010, the Penal Code Act that is implemented, and the people who are prosecuted, especially the male genders who are under this domestic violence act, they are prosecuted and they are given prison for 3 years according to the Domestic Violence Act they have done.
Delegate of UK.
Considering the rates of unemployment and lack of work for individuals in Uganda, how is government of Uganda look forward to producing more jobs and employment for individuals in Uganda?
Delegate, can you please repeat your question?
Yes. Considering the rates of unemployment and lack of work in Uganda for individuals and citizens, how does the government of Uganda look forward to making more jobs and employment for individuals in Uganda?
Focusing on the unemployment ratio at present Uganda has already enacted many laws like economic equality Uganda micro-regulated framework 2016, then national entrepreneurship policy to increase the number of people in entrepreneurship programs if they can't get the job to increase the employment ratio in the same. And your question also included what policies Uganda is trying to implement in future. There are certain policies that I can't discuss right now, but it's presenting the Parliament of Uganda. Some are still in the case, and people are the esteemed ministers are voting for the same. So the policies in future in Uganda can be the local government amendment act of 2025. There are chances that this will be done.
Thank you. Delegate of YouTube, you are recognized for 1 minute.
Delegate of United is honored to speak in front of the sport on the vision of employment to advance equality. The equality is fundamental for life, essential for global development. Here, global girls continue to face barriers in education, healthcare, and economic opportunities. UK has been strong advocate for initiatives like the FP5 and ICT10, focusing on ending violence against women and any kind of discrimination. The Parliament of UK has passed the Sex and Discrimination Act 1975, which criminalizes any kind of discrimination of women in environmental fields. By progress, industry faces challenges such as gender pay gap and underrepresentation of women in the leadership level in Europe. Together, let us work to empower women and girls, ensuring that there is equal opportunity to transform. Thank you.
Delegate, how would you like to read your hand? Open for comment.
Open for comments and questions.
Delegate of China.
According to a survey of 2021, 91% of women doctors in the nation experience sexism at their workplace. 42% feel unable to report it. How would you like to justify this delegate?
Can you repeat your question?
According to a survey of 2021, 91% of female doctors face sexism at their workplace. 42 feel the inability to report it. Where exactly is the nation looking forward to empowering women at this condition?
Your question, the government of the UK has implemented various laws that criminalize discrimination against women, and even so, as you mentioned, there is discrimination against women. And we look forward to reducing this discrimination by implementing policies which are currently present in Parliament for voting procedures. And we also look forward to work with private NGOs to promote equality and to ensure that women have a safe environment to work.
Thank you, Delegate.
Delegate of USA.
In the light of patriarchy and systematic racism, of Black Lives Matter protests, how does UK address ongoing economic and social inequalities that disproportionately affect the minority communities? Minority communities in the UK have been safeguarded by many laws that are implemented by the government. And especially talking about the Islamic minority, they have the government implements special laws for them. So they do not face discrimination and violence which is currently seen. And police force of UK also provides safeguards to the Islamic community as well as the minorities like LGBTQ and many other religions have the better protection of laws and the
Delegate of Saudi Arabia.
One of the biggest problems regarding inequality in UK is the lack of judicial knowledge to the youth, as college is related to laws and courts are closing down currently, and the youth are getting no scope to learn law and to participate in political activities. What are the steps taken by the government of UK regarding this?
The UK has a scheme in which it implements free education for youth in the terms of studying law and many other different educational programs are run. And the UK has one of the best university on the globe, which is known as Cambridge, and it has a free education program to make the youth study law and also medical programs are. You also empowers them to participate in free educational programs which are done by the government. And the main cause of the question was the lack of awareness. It is also currently being resolved by the government.
Delegate of Canada.
In UK, every 2 women are killed by their partners, as per a report by ONS 2022. So, what are the policies implemented for the protection of women by the government of UK? Could you repeat the first part of the question? In UK, every week 2 women are killed by their partners, as per a report by ONS 2022. To answer your question, first of all, we have many such policies that protect women against violence by partners and by such family members and relatives, and we look forward to reducing the amount of domestic violence as you mentioned, as also in our police force, we want government to actually participate and bring their issues to the government, and thus we have also enforced such policies that allow women to really come to the government and address their issues. At one, these force consist of over 60% of women, which will also make them more comfortable with sharing their issues, considering that they may feel more at peace with sharing their issues with the police.
Thank you.
Delegate of South Africa.
Considering your statement, as you said, that the certain laws enacted by the government the government of UK, still, as mentioned in our interview, women themselves who has worked in the parliament in the past have mentioned that they don't feel safe in the parliament itself. So women are not feeling safe at their workplace. So what is the government of UK doing to make women feel safe, to make women believe that government will help them in whatever situation they are in the workplace?
So as you mentioned, there are multiple cases of women saying that they are not doing safe in the parliament and workplaces. The government of UK has partnered with private NGOs to also raise awareness about safety for women in workplaces. We have enacted as online portals so that women can share their issues as for discrimination and if they feel unsafe, and as mentioned in the GSO, we have the Sex Discrimination Act of 1975, which criminalizes any discrimination against women, which also includes any kind of violence against women if they feel unsafe. But we still look forward to reducing the amount of unsafe that women feel in workplaces and in work.
Thank you. This is too much of questions. Okay, sorry for that. Delegate of USA, you are recognized for 1 minute.
Honorable Chair and esteemed delegates, the delegate of US is extremely privileged to attend this conference. Like a child, inequality constantly separates progress from prosperity. The United States is on to bridge this gap and lead as an example. We acknowledge that our nation faces significant challenges, but we are also making strides in achieving equality. Programs like the Earned Income Tax Credit, which aids over 25 million families, and Social Security, which is nearly 22 million Americans out of poverty, highlight our commitment. Also, the Affordable Care Act, which lifts 22 million Americans and have healthcare coverage. But we are facing so much significant challenges despite progress, and yet we are concerning about the steps and focusing on multifaceted approach towards the constraints of reducing inequalities. Now, the delegate of USA looks forward to other delegations on the same.
Delegates wishing to ask any question, please raise your hand. Delegate of Russia.
USA has since long had one of the highest mortality rates when it comes to pregnancies and women. And the current rate of normal child birth is $18,865 to $20,000 in a basic hospital. Does this really help the mortality rates of women who have to pay such high rates just for basic maternal and postpartum care? What is the country going to do, and what steps is it going to take to bring accessibility to low-income families who are facing complications to pregnancy due to this?
Families that have come under the national poverty line have been provided coverage through the Affordable Care Act, which provides 20 million people coverage, and it includes the pregnancy rights also, and has a very low cost pregnancy that can be adhered to. Abortions can also be covered in the Affordable Care Act, and we are looking forward onto it in the future steps to advance the transformative policy of Affordable Care Act.
Delegate of UK.
Concerning that the government of the US is trying to reduce inequalities, but considering certain cases where in the judiciary where there are some people who are being preferred to not having to face the punishments that are enacted in the laws, such as the 100% drug money trial. What does the government of the USA look forward to in the right to reduce inequalities between the common people and such legislators?
The US government has taken many under the administration of George Biden, and many such things have been taken to reduce the corruption in legislative processes and judiciary processes. The rights of common men are not heard right now, but considering the statistics that you mentioned and the dust money scandal that you have mentioned, the administration has taken progressive transformative policies just after the scandal and have been taking so many measures and created a whole department to look after the corruption in legislative and the judiciary.
Delegate of Saudi Arabia.
Despite all the efforts, guns are still not banned in USA, which leads to a high number of school shootings and which leads to a high number of school shootings and racial discrimination is still very much prevalent in USA, which leads to many suicides of blacks. So what is the government of USA currently doing towards it?
Considering the ongoing crisis of school shootings, the US government has implemented several measures and reducing the gun violence and enhancing school safety. The Bipartisan Safer Communities Act passed in 2022 includes provision expanding background checks and funding mental health services in schools, increasing investments in school safety infrastructure. Additionally, talking about the global stance on human rights with systematic racism within its own law enforcement, we considered the Department of Justice Civil Rights Decision and the Division for administrating the current systematic racism, not just in the legislative and administration, but also in the common people. We are also considering integrating with NGOs to reduce the inequalities and spread awareness about racism.
Delegate of China.
The US fighting for gender equality worldwide fell significantly over the past year due to a widening gap in male and female political empowerment and health outcomes. How does the government of US plan to tackle this situation?
US has considered the empowering women in representing in the at the state level as well as the central level. There have been integrated programs with NGOs to spread awareness in women to participate more in political activities, and as well as there have been made so many policies to let women lead in the STEM sectors.
Thank you, Redmond.
Delegate of Uganda.
The United States of America has income and wealth inequality. What reforms and policies the US government is taking, specifically in taxation reforms and social welfare for its citizens?
The progressive taxation is implemented on a level when considering the national poverty line to be increased more to reduce the poverty in America, as well as the government has taken many steps to ensure that there is no inequality between women and men in the economic sector. For every dollar that men earn, women earn 83 cents. Yet we consider that this is a significant challenge to America. This is so much less than the world average.
Thank you, delegates. The floor for general speakers please closes. Are there any points or motions on the floor? Delegate of Saudi Arabia.
The delegate of Saudi Arabia. The delegate of Saudi Arabia would like to raise a motion of moderated caucus for which the topic being discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity, for which the total time being 20 minutes.
We will take this to vote. All those in favor of this motion to start the debate, please raise your hand. Since the motion for moderated caucus has passed with a majority vote, let us commence this discussion. Would the speaker prefer to speak first or last during this discussion?
No, I would like to speak at last.
Okay. Delegate of Argentina, you are recognized now.
Honorable Chair, esteemed delegates, Delegate of Argentina would like to say that Argentina is indeed recognized for its progressive stance on transgender rights, particularly due to its groundbreaking gender identity law, which was enacted in stating that 76% Argentinians believe homosexuality should be accepted, which makes Argentina, the South American country, the most positive attitude towards homosexuality. On July 15, 2010, Argentina made history by legalizing same-sex marriages, marking a significant milestone in the LGBTQ plus rights, both within Latin America and globally. Thank you.
Thank you. Delegate of Russia, you are recognized now.
Esteemed Chair, honorable delegates and distinguished guests. I, the delegate of Russia, stand to address the matter of crucial and global importance, the empowerment of LGBTQ individuals in Russia. As representatives in this model United Nations conference, we are tasked with crafting solutions to ensure that every individual, regardless of the sexual orientation or gender identity, gets the same rights and freedoms as a normal person. In recent years, Russia has implemented a series of policies that have severely impacted LGBTQIA individuals, including the controversial gay propaganda law enacted in 2013. This legislation prohibits the promotion of non-traditional sexual relations to minors to protect and uphold the religious and societal values of the country's people. The law has been widely criticized for fostering a climate of discrimination, but it is imperative that we consider both the challenges and the potential avenues for improvement. While the current policies have created significant barriers, there are steps that can be taken to foster a safer and more inclusive environment for the LGBTQIA community. Thank you.
Okay. Delegate of Saudi Arabia? Sorry, you are last one, right? Delegate of Uganda?
As the delegate of Uganda, I would like to address the issue of sexual discrimination and gender identity in respect to our nation's stand. Recently, Uganda has enacted anti-homosexuality laws. It's crucial to understand that these laws vary with respect to our culture. I acknowledge the members' questions and debates for the same about the anti-sexuality law of like imprisonment and prison for the same. But it's crucial to understand the same in the community stand. Uganda believes in protecting the rights and equality of all its citizens. We believe in promoting nation sovereignty and cultural identity. In addressing with these sensitive. Thank you.
Delegate of USA, you are recognized.
Chair, Honorable Chair, and esteemed delegates, the USA will steadfast its commitment to enhancing gender equality rights and producing the protection of severe interests of LGBTQI citizens. On equal protections, a landmark achievement was made of the recent Supreme Court's case on Boston versus Crater County, which confirmed that Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination in the workplace on sexual orientation and gender identity. On the support for LGBT youth, the US government has also prioritized well-being of LGBT youth through initiatives such as Safe Schools Improvement Act, International Front. The US active supports decriminalization of homosexuality and advocates for protection of LGBTQI activists who face zero prosecution. The United States urges all nations to join us in taking concrete actions and address these disparities. Thank you, and I give the floor back to the chair.
Thank you. Now you have the time for question answering, so you can start. Delegate of Russia?
I would like to bring to light the fact that in USA, a widespread and profoundly negative impact created by deliberate actions to roll back the human rights of LGBTQ people in the United States. And noted these people include deeply discriminatory measures seeking to rebuild stigma against lesbian and gay people, limiting comprehensive sexual facilities and for trans and gender diverse persons as well. And despite 5 decades of progress, equality is not within reach and not even sometimes within sight for people for the people who are impacted by discrimination and violence when it comes to sexual orientation or gender identity. Because according to the FBI's main efforts, approximately 18.5% of all hate crimes in the USA have been due to sexual orientation and gender identity. The fact is that the country claims to have progressed so much in the giving rights of sexual orientation and gender identity and diversity. What is the country going to do to protect these people who are facing high-rising violence?
Considering your question, there are several steps that has been taken by US government to ensure the safety of minority communities such as LGBTQ community. Considering there have been several transformative policies such as allowing transgender people in military, and there has been a milestone in the US government for spreading awareness for and reducing hate crime. There is a Department of Civil Rights that has been working consistently to reduce the hate crimes against the LGBT community. And coming to the point, USA is a much better place for LGBT community than any of the countries in this world, and particularly Russia.
And I would also
I would also like to bring to light the fact that children who are facing violence, because approximately 30% of transgender youth has faced bullying or has been attacked in school due to homophobia or transphobia. How is the country going to spread awareness about this as well as changing the mindset of people towards?
Every year there is a birth pride rally that has been done, and it is the safeguard of the state or the central legislative that has been provided to them to spread awareness and reducing the hate crimes. The same Department of Civil Rights apply here, and they are consistently working on reducing. Coming to the school safety, as previously mentioned in the questions before asked to delegate of USA, that the school safety has been taken in measures like several measures such as the gun violence has been reduced, and considering the attacks on the minorities, there is so much policy that has been implemented in school safety, like improving the school safety infrastructure, reducing the hate against the LGBTQ community, as well as there is a legal age of identifying with gender and sexual orientation, and which comes under the high school ages, and we provide educational programs for them to be aware of what actually gender identity and sexual orientation means.
Thank you.
Delegate of Vidwana.
We all know that in US, we all know that in US school, they are teaching the LGBTQ community what is it and what is it about, but some parents are against it. In that case, in Manchester, city in USA, a father was against the 6-year kid learning LGBTQ community, and when the father addressed the same to the principal and the higher authorities, he was put to prison for 7 years. How can USA do such a thing in a country who has right to speech and right to express their viewpoints?
Considering the case that you mentioned, it is a state level government which is involved in this, and there is so much conflict between central and state government that has been addressed in this matter. Particularly talking about that, there is a legal age of education also which provides LGBTQ awareness. Like when the kid or the child comes in a high school, then and only then the LGBTQ education or awareness is given to the child, not particularly in the lower ages. And if the parents are against that, we are also considering their voices. But constantly, there has been a majority of votes to include LGBTQ awareness in education programs.
But a parent against it can't be put to prison for the same reason. And also you mentioned that it's a coming to USA is a coming together federal country which has its own laws for different states in USA. But that doesn't mean it shows so many of uniformity. It has no uniformity, and how can you present it in UN as the delegate of USA if there is so much non-uniformity present in the country?
Considering your point, there is indeed uniformity in the majority of the states. Some states still have the conflict against the central government, and there are constant debates and discussions that has been going on between central and state government to resolve different conflicts on this matter.
And how will you be providing the justice to that father who just raised the question?
Delegate of Uganda, please no counter questions. One time is only accepted. Please give opportunity to other delegates also. Delegate of India.
delegate wants to know from delegate of Argentina that as per the recent ratio of WHO, LGBTQ people from Afro-Argentina is facing discrimination and only 1:5 people are complaining the government about the problems they are facing. So what is government doing about that? Important steps have been undertaken to eliminate violence, ensuring that national laws follow international standards, enlisting the support of Argentina's civil society and women's movement, passing of Miguel law to educate government workers on the problem of violence against women, and also passing of Brisa law to provide financial reparation for the children of femicide victims. I will repeat my question that what is Argentine government doing for LGBTQ people from Afro-Argentina as the ratio of WHO says that only 1 from 5 is complaining the problem they are facing to the government or to the police. Other rest are just not telling because of the fear of society. So what is government doing about that? What problems are you exactly talking about? They are facing discrimination. Actually, discrimination. The government of Argentina has taken many steps to eliminate discrimination on the basis of gender. Just a second. In 2012, a penal code was provided which mentioned that a penalty of up to lifetime imprisonment could be given to the person who is doing all this. So, on the basis of sexual discrimination and also gender identity and expression, no one can be discriminated. Thank you.
Delegate of Canada.
What steps has Argentina taken to ensure the access? What steps has Argentina taken to ensure the access of healthcare and education, especially for LGBT individuals, without any discrimination? Argentina has implemented a national plan from 2015 to 2018 to address LGBTQ plus health needs, including mental health support, HIV/AIDS treatment, and gender affirming care. And Argentina also provides free gender affirming care, including hormone therapy and surgeries through the public healthcare system. But how does Argentina ensure that every LGBTQ individual has access to every educational, in every higher education? The government has started many policies and laws to in favor of these people, and also the government of Argentina makes sure by spreading awareness programs that these people are provided these healthcare facilities. Thank you.
Okay, delegate of Russia. I would also like to bring to the light that approximately 65.1% of transgender women in Argentina are living in rentals or hotel rooms. How is the country providing for these people?
Delegate of Uganda, you are raising.
The delegate of Uganda would like to defend the delegate of Argentina, saying that how can Russia answer the question of LGBTQ, where more than 5,000 Russians have been refugees to Argentina before 3 months because they didn't got the right of privacy right to live as the LGBTQ community in their own country.
In Russia, there is a right to live as an LGBTQ community. The fact is that the country believes to uphold the traditional values and the religious values of the country's people. With approximately 61% of people.
They are being abused, they are being harassed, and that's why they have to leave Russia and leave these refugees and Argentina.
Protect these people. Please maintain some silence. Control on your.
I would like to ask the delegate of Russia on the matter of fact that 62% of the Russians believe that LGBTQ should not be accepted by society, reflecting the deep-seated societal prejudice. And even if you consider the majority not considering LGBTQ rights, does that majority give right to the government to take away the rights of minorities?
The fact is that even with the majority in government and the majority disagreeing towards LGBTQ and taking away their rights, Russia has only restricted the people of the LGBTQ community from being outspoken and loud about non-traditional sexual relationships in front of minors, especially in public places, to maintain the peace and calm of the country and to reduce protests.
So you are taking away the freedom of speech from the minority communities just because the majority doesn't accept the
It is
minority
effectively working to protect them. In USA, 5% of the population is a part of the LGBTQ community, and such high cases of violence are still there, which the laws enacted about protecting them.
Let me give the freedom of speech to them.
The delegate of South Africa would like to defend USA and would like to support it. As the stats, the LGBTQ youth homelessness has reached to 40% in Russia itself. 40% of the LGBTQ community people are homeless, and yet Russian government is not allowing them to have their own property. Russian government just states the fact that they respect LGBT community.
May I know your sources?
It is from UNICEF 2020.
Also, the Russian judiciary states the network, LGBT network is extremist group and doesn't allow any of the internal communication of LGBT people.
Adding to the point, the Russian delegate just said that we have right to speak for both minorities and majority. But when minority is doing something promoting LGBTQ, it has harmful laws like gay propaganda law in Russia. But when majority does, in Tokyo, Olympics, the host was Russian and they were against that.
In Uganda, I'm really surprised by this question because currently we declared to nullify the Anti-Homosexuality Act in 2023 in its entirety. Neither will we grant a permanent injunction against its enforcement. Justice Richard Piquera, Uganda's deputy chief and justice of head court in this land house.
But according to the anti-human rights
Delegates, too much questions for Russia. If you want to target any other country, please. Sorry, lot of questions.
I would also like to bring to the light that in South Africa, lesbian women are being raped due to the practice referred to as selective rape in village that they turned into heterosexual women. And the country has only condoned this practice for the past years and years in coming. And approximately 500 lesbian women are victim to this assault. The country has only condoned this practice in fear of not appearing macho. What is the country doing to protect its women?
When it comes to protecting women, the South Africa has been enacting laws in the past 10 years and laws like protecting women. Also, if they are in LGBTQ community, they can protect LGBTQ community, and about 40% of LGBT community is not homelessness, not is going through homelessness, and
But they are saying there's some violence.
they are facing violence. I am not
Delegates.
and
To
listening
support
to the question of
Delegate of USA.
and also when it comes to
Delegates, control yourself.
answering to the question Russia asked about anti-homosexuality law, I have to say that Uganda stands in one direction against the LGBTQ or with LGBTQ. It's not like Russia showing neutral stand and promoting LGBTQ in some areas and then
We're still working towards increasing the
but what about the free
society. We are taking slow measures to at least give rights to people who have been part of the LGBTQ community.
But what about the free harassment that Russia people do? And what about the law that 16-year-old teen can prosper the relationship and they can show that in social media? But if the teen is LGBTQ and in a relationship in Russia, then another teen of LGBTQ can't
It is still a person's own security.
when it comes to
The time for question answering. The time for question answering has been over. Please, let's continue with the resolution of moderatory focus. Any delegate? Delegate of moderatory.
I wanted to question.
Sorry, question answering. Any resolution to be discussed? Delegate of Saudi Arabia. The delegate of Saudi Arabia would like to present the resolution on combating sexual discrimination.
Delegate of Saudi Arabia, I given time for discuss related to it, not to present it. I will mention you after some. Any delegates? I can see no one, so I think you can continue with the question answer.
I would like to ask the delegate of South Africa that platforms like Grindr is used in orchestrating hate crimes against LGBTQ individuals as seen in the recent spate of attacks in Johannesburg.
When it comes to the recent attacks in Johannesburg, the government and the police have also been included in this thing, and the government has been taking strict actions prohibiting laws and a lot of laws and policy has also been enacted and those for violating any kind of laws and the surroundings themselves will be punishable and the government itself will consider the violence as a punishable offense.
The policies do not seem to enact as the traditional ritual of collective hate and murder of LGBTQ individuals, such as the brutal killing of Noble Chenini in 2023, reflects the deep-rooted societal prejudice in South Africa.
Any delegate to defend? No.
When it comes to the recent and murder case, the culprit who was kept the victim was penetrated death and the culprits whoever are caught by the government are not leave very easily and most probably they are almost given a sentence of death.
Yet there is no official policy against the collective rapes going on in South Africa.
Delegate of USA, I think lots of questions get given chance to other delegates also. Delegate of Italy.
Delegate of Italy would like to question Delegate of India. What is the Indian government doing? And 71.62 people, 62% of people are not accepting LGBTQ people. So what awareness programs or laws are implemented for them?
The government is partnering with different NGOs and providing sensitivity training for healthcare professionals and law enforcement and many youth awareness programs are taking place throughout the country to resolve this problem. Along with that, organizations like ARSA and English are working on a national level to resolve this problem.
But people are still the delegate of Uganda would like to defend the delegate of India, saying that the percentage you said about 7 of percentage who are against LGBTQ, we can put the awareness and method. The question you asked about the laws implemented for the same, the delegate of Uganda would like to say that being in relationship in LGBTQ is legal in India. Yes, it is legal, but after the laws are implemented, LGBTQ people are still facing problems in India. So what are like address the problem? Because if they are allowed in relationship and they are even allowed for the adoption procedure, then what exactly problems they are facing according to the delegate of discrimination in jobs? They are not getting jobs. There is no discrimination in jobs, especially in workforce and areas like science and others. While in rural areas where 10 or 12K salaries are paid, there can be some status because of the societal mindset they have. And India exactly what is the Indian government doing for
Delegates, the time for moderating caucus has been completed. So, delegate of Saudi Arabia, I recognize you now to briefly summarize the resolution for the moderating caucus. The delegate of Saudi Arabia would like to present a resolution on combating sexual orientation, discrimination, and promoting gender identity rights. Recognizing the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the need to protect the dignity of all individuals, calls upon member states to respect cultural diversity while promoting the fundamental human rights of all individuals.
regardless of sexual orientation and gender identity, encourages educational programs to raise awareness and urges international cooperation to address these broader issues such as poverty, education, and healthcare to improve the lives of all individuals, including those in the LGBTQIA plus community. Thank you.
Thank you, delegates. We have had a productive discussion on this topic, and I believe we are ready to move forward with the next portion now. Are there any points of motions on the floor?
The child abductions and forced marriages that has been happening since 1940 in Uganda.
When it comes to equality, right now, the most marriages can't be
Without any sense of the report.
what is the Uganda government doing as cases of domestic violence is increasing day by day? In 2014, Domestic Violence Act was introduced and reduced a lot of significant amount of domestic violence.
Increase in rape cases since 2015 to 2016. Even
Not trust in law enforcement of
Please provide statistical data.
Are not given justice here. Three sisters were raped and abused by their own father. When it comes to domestic violence, why nobody is questioning the delegate of Russia, where their own father is molesting the girl child. In 20 cases, and the government has done nothing. Same case in India.
India case is in almost every country. The country of Russia
domestic violence is a big problem in each of the countries.
Saudi Arabia will say that in Saudi Arabia, law says that I foster the male power more than the female power. When government
It's right. But in Saudi Arabia, one man is equivalent to the two women. Gender discrimination everywhere, even in job.
If polygamy is allowed, you can also allow polyandry. Keep saying about your culture. Your culture also says that polyandry should be allowed. Let me tell you what is polygamy. Polygamy when one male marries two wives, and polyandry when one female marries one husband. In Saudi Arabia culture, both are there. But Saudi Arabia only had a developed patriarchal mindset of male of one man marrying two wives, but doesn't allow one woman marrying two husbands. And even
people of Saudi Arabia, the government cannot change the minds of the people.
but they are not supposed to be
And not just that, then why isn't the government banning it or taking strict actions against them and spreading awareness?
LGBTQ news in the headlines of the newspaper. How does the delegate of South Africa defend on that? Saudi Arabia defend on that? That even the news reporters who are trying to convey the message to the people who are spreading awareness due to the LGBTQ community is being trashed and abused to death. The people who are spreading awareness in the community are giving death penalties.
I would like to ask about your sources. Delegate of South Africa.
Let me answer to the question raised by delegate of South Africa. It is literally based on a country's own religion. If Saudi Arabia follows Islam, it has to follow Islam. Just like the Sharia
Delegates, the time for uncoordinated progress has concluded. Let's move on to the next motion. Are there any points or motions on the floor? Okay, before this, I would now like to open the floor to questions from the international press. Yes.
I would like to question the delegate of Saudi Arabia.
News reporter, please introduce yourself.
I am Ahmedabad and I am the editor of BBC News. So, we know that Saudi Arabia has been chosen as the chair of the UN Commission that is supposed to promote equality rights and empower women around the world. So, can you tell what are the factors that have created empowerment among women in Saudi Arabia and the policies that have been implemented to ensure the status of women in Saudi Arabia?
Well, there are many approaches done by the government of Saudi Arabia regarding women empowerment, such as Vision 2030 reforms. It also includes the increasing women's participation in each of the fields, especially in labor force. It is also increased to 34.5% in 2023. Also, some legal reforms are also being taken in the past few years by Saudi Arabia, such as mentioned earlier, the driving ban was also lifted in 2018, allowing women to drive freely as they can, and the hijab ban was also lifted in 2019, allowing women to wear whatever they can in public. Also, there are some alternative approaches regarding this, as some conditions. You can use another mic. That is all. Some other agreements are also made by the government of Saudi Arabia, like within the annual framework budget of Saudi Arabia, the country is planning many skill development programs and initiatives which are also in the collaboration of NGOs which are working towards women's empowerment, and women are allowed to start up their own businesses, come up to any of the job opportunities that they want, but it is also upon a woman and a woman's mindset that what a woman wants, if she really wants to participate or not. So the government is tirelessly working towards it.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm the news reporter from the Times of India. I would like to ask a question to the delegate of South Africa. What steps has South Africa taken to address the rising violence against women, especially in light of recent high-profile gender-based violence, and how can women empowerment initiatives be strengthened to ensure lasting societal change?
For your answers, has already amended various acts. Amendment Act in 2022. The second act is the Criminal and Related Matters Amendment Act 12 of 2022, and the third is the Domestic Violence Amendment Act 14 of also 2022, which are focusing on women empowerment as well as they are focusing for the gender-based violence and even femicide in South Africa. This all and the government is also right now including various amendments also to make in future so the women empowerment and the gender-based violence decreases in the future years.
Myself, Krishit from ABC News. I wanted to question the delegate of Russia. Yeah. So, with significant regional disparity in the economic development, how is Russia ensuring that in all regions, particularly those in Far East and Siberia, the people are getting benefit from the national growth and infrastructure development? Do you have an answer for that?
Yes, I do. The country of Russia is working on regional development, infrastructure investments, and massive its activities as well. And programs like that, Partnership have been implemented to stimulate economic growth, job creation, and less development missions. as well as education being provided and child welfare as well. Thank you.
So my second question is to the delegate of Saudi Arabia. So recently in 2022, back in that, I have seen that the contract of some professional footballers, that huge amounts were spent like $200 million, $1 million for inviting the professional football players to play in the country and promote them. So why don't you think that that money can be spent in other areas such as implementing welfare schemes for the people and other things? Why only football?
Well, as the reporter stated that the Saudi Arabia spent a huge amount on footballers, but it is about a private club. Like some clubs, I would suggest the name like Al Nasser or Al Hilal. They are private clubs, and the individual persons are owning that club. So it is on their money. It is upon them how to spend their money, and the government can't interfere in that. And coming to some political and some broader approaches like women empowerment, etc., these are controlled by the government, and government is preparing a proper structure of the budget and what amount of money is to be spent on what particular areas to be focused.
So you mean that government has no control over sports such as football and others? You mean that only the royal family has control over this and the government is corrupted?
Well, as you suggested, the clubs are out there private, but considering the international football, the government has its control over that, and the government has also developed many stadiums and allowed women to enter the stadiums, the football stadiums. The government has its control over the international football, or let me say the Saudi Arabian national football team, but it has no control over some private clubs.
Thank you. We can now move with the next motion. Are there any calls for motion from the floor? Delegate of India.
Delegate of India would like to raise a motion on the floor for resolution paper and voting procedure.
We will take this to vote. All those in favor of this motion, please raise your placard. Since the motion has passed with the majority vote, the floor is now open to the amendments. Okay. I request the delegates to submit their policy papers for consideration.
इधर से पीछे से
Is any delegate ready? Okay.
important policy proposals are Gender Equality Act, in which reducing gender pay gap by 20% within 2 years, increase women in leadership positions by 30% within 3 years, and future plans are implement a national gender equality index and identify area for implementation. Secondly, women empowerment programs provide training and education to 50,000 plus women entrepreneurs within 2 years. Increase access Increase access to credit for women and own business by 40%.
Policy proposals are Wealth Redistribution Act, Equity Act, implement a one-time wealth tax of 30% on net assets exceeding $15 million, so once collected will be redistributed as direct cash transfer and investment in public service and education, healthcare, housing, targeting the most disadvantaged community. Universal Bank Capital Program establish a Suvidha Wealth Fund from progressive taxation on high income earners and corporations. Every citizen upon reaching adulthood will receive a capital endowment of $10,000 that can be used for education, starting a business, or investment in personal development. In conclusion, the Alliance is committed to enacting this transformative policy to radiantly address inequalities and ensure sustainable, equitable growth and opportunities for all citizens. Thank you.
Okay. We have reached the end of our discussion. I have been deeply impressed by the insightful and passionate contribution that each of you has made to this debate. Thank you for your presence. I now adjourn the General Assembly.
Before we proceed, it is our honor to introduce the esteemed members of our school's management committee whose tireless efforts, guidance, and support have been pivotal in shaping the success and direction of Shree Narayana cultural mission. Their commitment to excellence ensures that our school continues to thrive, providing the best educational environment for our students. Please join me in welcoming the members of our management committee, the President Mr. V.R.S. Dharan sir, and the General Secretary Mr. Muralidharan K.O. Give a huge round of applause for them. I would like to welcome President V.R.S. Dharan sir to come onto the stage and share a few words. I would request our head boy to present a flower to our respected president.
I am standing in front of the United Nation, representatives of the United Nations. A wonderful experience for me. How many of you have participated today? 24 I am not. How many participated today's event? 24. It is physically. It's good. This should be a unique experience for everybody. You all know that I need not tell you that what is United Nations, how it was formed, that you may be aware of it. It was formed after the Second World War. Remember, am I right? It was formed after the Second World War in 1945. 51 nations participated in that at that time. Now, the strength has increased to 193. Few more countries are yet to do it, smart countries. So, this has further become a large village. You all know, we all know what is all happening all around the world. Every minute, every second, if you want to know something about what is happening in the world, we can know that. But you people are, really lucky. Why I say that lucky? But during my time, when I was in the school, not even a telephone was available in the village, let alone in the house. Now, you can know, you know that I'm really feel very proud that you people are, how you people are now interacting with each other with confidence. You know that, see, by the participating as a delegate or a international, what do you say that, press reporter. Not that, but I say that international diplomacy. I was trying to tell you about the international diplomacy. Each country participated in them as a delegate of the UN. You know that the contribution of that VK Krishnameno? How many of you know the contribution of VK Krishnameno? Our VK Krishnameno. He was a representative of India in the United Nations, and he spoke for about 8 hours. That is a record. He spoke, he gave a speech for a representative of case. Which case? You know that India-Pakistan conflict. Pakistan said that it is part of Pakistan, and India vehemently said that it is part of India, and he could establish that it is part of India by accepting. Why did the king of that time had you know that? He spoke for about 8 hours. My dear children, you can also be one of the delegate of India. I see the capabilities of my children. You are all very confident. What is needed is deep understanding of the issues you represent. Deep understanding of the issue which you are going to project, and you will try to be a good orator. With these two, you will be able to succeed wherever you go, whenever you participate in any event. Here the other advantage what I see is you can participate in debate. If a debate is organized, you have now the confidence that you stand up and say something that is most important. So I like this program and I congratulate you all on this occasion. And this, you know that why from 51 to countries it has now reached to 191? Because it is for the common cause. World Health Organization, United Security Council, everything will come under that umbrella. There are many conflict agriculture, and of course, my children sitting there also. The next time they will also come and participate in such a program and get yourself a capable person to handle any situation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for inspiring us, sir. Please give a huge round of applause for our president. Now, I would like to welcome our General Secretary, Mr. Murli Bharat K.N. sir, to come onto the stage and share a few words. I would request our head girl to present a flower to our respected General Secretary, sir.
Good morning, respected President Shree Narayana, faculty members from the college, teachers, principal of Central School. This is the first lively time, and it is like a heated argument type of discussion. We experienced, the first time I am coming to attend this lively program, and I got a lot of experience, and all the participants from different countries, 12 countries. I hope all of you must have gone through the details of all the countries, how they function and what are the activities, what is happening in that particular countries. So all the delegates from the 12 countries, I congratulate all of you for participating in this wonderful event, and also the coordinators of this event and the principal and who are all the supporting staff for this event happens in a nice way. And probably the winner will be one or two, not all the delegates. But that is always only one or two can be the winners, not all participant delegates. But it is great that all of you participated, and hope in coming years also this sort of events will continue and in a large scale or a better way. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable feedback. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. It's time to celebrate the incredible achievements of our participants and recognize those who have truly excelled. These awards represent not just victory, but the hard work, dedication, and passion that each recipient had brought to the table. Let's give a big round of applause as I invite Mr. Paramveer Chahal to present the award for the best diplomacy.
A very warm good afternoon to all and all present. I heartily thank
of the school for having given the opportunity to us to evaluate the emerging and young minds of our nation. And as tutor, I believe my senior colleagues and principal sir would resonate that we feel secure that our nation is in the right hands. Besides this, I would like to thank our President sir and Secretary sir for having raised the event. We thank you. It's time for the results, something for which you all must have been waiting. And I completely relate to you because all through my school years and college years I have been into public speaking. I will just, before I announce the result, I will just share few suggestions that you should have in your mind, right? Generally, if I ask, child, what is your name? Krishna, right? So in spirituality, especially in our culture in Bharat Bhumi, right? From the perspective of Bhagavad Gita, if you ask who am I, then what is the answer? I am a soul, right? Similarly, in public speaking, the soul is the content, the understanding, the idea. Without idea, without content, your words are meaningless, right? But in order to carry out any karma, the soul needs what? Body. The language is the body in public speaking, right? If you don't have the right choice of words, if you don't have the right set of vocabulary, you might have the content, you might have the idea, but you will not be able to deliver and form an impression to the public, right? So having language skill is very crucial. Having clarity, having diction, right? But we are social animals. Soul, body, but we adorn the body with clothes, with accessories, right? These days with makeups as well, don't we? Right? So embellish, in order to embellish your public speaking, you need to have a good body language, right? A good expressions, humbleness, so that your opponent doesn't feel disrespected, right? We disagree, but respect, right? Of course, I know all these words would not be the words which you are waiting for. It's the result which matters the most. And I would request the President sir to come forward and announce the result for best diplomat.
And for announcing the results from my perspective, all the 22 delegates are the vested delegates. But still, when they have evaluated the results, a slight difference. Not that those who have not coming in first are not good delegates. You are not good delegates. Okay? Then whatever the results I have to to read out, that is what I am doing. The first diplomat, Saurya Yogi. Saurya Yogi of USA.
Good morning to one and all present over here. Now, once again, I am here to announce the results. We have already received one prize for Shree Narayana. Now coming up to the category of Best Debater. Any guesses, audience? Best Debater? No. Okay, Best Debater goes to the delegate of Saudi Arabia. General Secretary Sir to give away the prize, please. Congratulations, Pratap. Now, Now I would like to invite Swati ma'am for giving her insightful views. Please give her a big round of applause.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, everybody present here. Esteemed guests of the trust and the principal ma'am of the school, our principal sir and faculty members over here. We were called for judging this event. I'll share my personal experience. Judging the other events when it is a debate or elocution, we have been doing that. We have been preparing students for that. But when it came as MUN competition, so believe me, on an average, we all must have spent more than 2 hours understanding exactly what we are going to do over here, what would be our role. So we also discussed in the staff room, like when we were having our break time, कि exactly बच्चे क्या करेंगे, हम उनको कैसे measure करेंगे. I think we did our homework. Same way you also did your homework. You were provided with do's, don'ts, what to do, exactly how you should present yourself. The first thing that I came and I observed was that there were only 2 participants who are absent of the all. So the participation is good in number. The best part is of the Saudi Arabia who single-handedly took the whole charge of the country. So that was good. Out of the total 24 participants, 2 were absent, that means 20 were present. Out of 20, 12 were actively participating. So this ratio has to change in the next season. This is my strong recommendation. Being in team does not mean we can slip even a bit. I saw a team, one member was answering, questioning, the other was continuously feeding. So the feeder is equally important. Feeder has to be very strong. Second suggestion, don'ts are more powerful than do's. If you don't do something, it's okay. But negative marking should not enter your database. So you should always focus on what is not to be done. And then start with your do's. You will conquer very nicely. So that is the second suggestion. Because I'm sure after the result, somebody will have in mind, मैंने अच्छा participate किया था तो मुझे क्यों नहीं मिला? तो उसका answer do's or don'ts उसको बैलेंस करना था। And third, last but not the least, any time you cannot lose your compose and your patience. The key to such debates, discussion, and the success in this is patience, knowledge, and your body language. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I would now call upon our principal sir, Principal Dr. Jagdish Pongal, to announce best delegate for the competition. Tanya,
Good morning, all. It was really a very nice experience. I hope what we have learned, those who were participating as well as those who were as an audience must have also learned a lot of things. So thanks to first of all, thanks to the management that they are always willing to raise our bar. They expect that we should raise our bar, and the three principals of the institution, the heads, always try to match them. So thank you, sir, for giving us the free hand. Thank you to the principal who has given us the opportunity to be the judge for the event. It is rightly said here that United Nations, the three things which is diplomacy, dedication, and diligence. I have seen good diplomacy here. Few countries were actively participating. Few countries did not say a single word. Silence mattered the most. So, yeah, at the national level and international also, this plays a very important role. So, being an economic teacher, always feel that those countries who have more power always try to submit those who are less developed countries. So, it is necessary that development should be the motto. The all four motions were really very nice. Two were discussed, two were not. I expect the other two were far more important than the two which were discussed because it is right now the international proposals. Right? So this is from my side that you should also, when somebody is representing their country, they should be more powerful. There should be more positivity than what negativity should be. Yeah, the other countries will definitely counter, but it's very necessary that the country who faces has to face very boldly. The last debate which happened was revolving around the topic of rapists. The increasing violence against the woman is a crime against the woman, and everybody were against the country India. And India has to give a very strong message to the other countries. So it is very necessary that you have to, as Swami Madam rightly said, that you have to be very, very thorough with your knowledge. It's very important that you stick the data, so next time when you all appear anywhere, you should be very, very strong with your data. And because once you speak, it's recorded. So it is not that X country is good and Y country is good, but you should know which country is the best. So on that note, I thank you all for participating. This is 9th, 10th and 11th class, I suppose. You must have learned really well, and I hope all the very best to your future debating careers. And now about the best delegate. The best delegate goes to participant from Russia.
much esteemed judges as well as council sir for this appreciation award. I will now hand over the mic to the anchors for the consolation prizes.
Before we move on, every contribution has been invaluable, and it is important to recognize those who have shown commendable effort and enthusiasm throughout. We are pleased to present our consolation prizes to those who have demonstrated great effort and spirit throughout this event. These prizes are a token of appreciation for your hard work and participation. Now, it's my honor to invite Dr. Smita Singh, the esteemed principal of Shree Narayana Center School, to share a few words and provide closing remarks. Requesting the respected principal ma'am to join us on the stage. And also to announce the consolation prize.
Good morning, everyone. Okay. No, I'm not going to share even a single word because we are getting late. Actually, the time was given to, it was 11 only, 1 hour, we are already going late. So directly I'm coming to the consolation prize. It doesn't mean that those who didn't get any prize, they have not spoken well. Everyone, it was cut, two cut. You were one after the another, but the consolation as the limitations are there. Only 2 students we have selected for consolation prize. The first one, okay, delegate of Uganda. The first one is Vismaya. And second consolation is for delegate of South Africa, Kamanda Naik.
I would now request Principal Ma'am to give away the consolation prizes to voting delegates. Congratulations, delegates. Give them a huge round of applause to them. Thank you, ma'am.
Dedication and diligence.
Now, to conclude, I would just simply like to say that from the upcoming year, we will be coming up with a new edition, inviting more amount of our schools over here to the panel.
from 11th Science to present the vote of thanks.
Distinguished delegates, esteemed chairs, and honorable guests, and fellow students, as we conclude this incredible Model United Nations conference, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to each one of you. Your dedication, insightful debates, and commitment to finding solutions have truly made this event a success. A special thank you to our organizing committee, our volunteers, and sponsors for their tireless effort and support. To our chairs and moderators, thank you for guiding us with wisdom and fairness. Lastly, to all the delegates, your passion and hard work have inspired us all. Let us carry forward the spirit of diplomacy and cooperation that we have fostered here. Thank you.
Here is now we come to the end of the event. I would request the audience to move into their respective classes in an orderly manner, and I would request the management members as well as the participants to stay there for a while for the photo